Welcome to Quote and Conquer, the podcast where powerful words meet powerful action. Let's conquer one quote at a time.
Yeah, definitely running with the soldiers on.
Busy is not a badge of honor, it's often a mask for distraction. Hi, everyone. It's Joey Walters, and welcome to Quote and Conquer, the podcast where powerful words meet powerful action. If you're grinding and still stuck, if you're working 12 hours or plus a day and you still feel like you're stuck at the same place, you're not alone. But today we're going to unpack something that's going to cut really deep. We're going to get out of the noise and we're going to drop some truth on how you can change your life with this one quote. So, this episode's quote is never mistake activity for achievement. And it's from one of the greatest coaches in history, John Wooden. He won 10 NCAA championships in 12 years and 7 in a row. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, but his obsession with clarity, discipline, and the small details created results that were never matched. You see, John wasn't just a coach, he was a teacher. He taught that movement doesn't equal progress, and just because you're busy doesn't mean you're winning, because you could be busy doing the wrong things. And if there's one thing out of this quote that we need more than ever in 2025, because we're hammered with so many distractions, is to get really focused on doing the work that's not going to make you just busy, but it's going to move your life forward. So you might be asking, how do I ensure that I am not busy doing the wrong things? The first step is clarity. You need to understand where you're starting and where you are going. What is the purpose of what you're doing towards to getting to your end goal? Let me give you an example. If a plane takes off from one destination to another and it's not clear exactly where it's going and how it's going to chart its course, and it's off by a few degrees, it doesn't matter how fast it goes, it will not get to its destination. And the same thing is with you in your life. You have to get really clear on where you're going and where you're starting from, and then be really busy around doing the activities and the habits every single day and taking action towards that, and not being busy with being distracted, because it is so easy for us to get distracted. So we have to go back to our clarity and getting really clear on where we're starting and where we're going. And once you do that, then that will start you on the right path. So, what are the next steps? Once you are clear, then you have to really understand what are the standards that you need to have to get to your destination. What are the habits that you need to start creating in order to get to that destination? And then you need to have the discipline and take action every single day, even when you don't want to, because it's the days that you don't want to do something that you can get easily distracted. So you need to have discipline. And to me, discipline is self love. Discipline is doing the work when you don't want to do it because you know it's the right thing to do. You see, John Wooden, he was so disciplined that he would even have his players practice on how they would put their socks on so that way they wouldn't get blisters. Like, think about that. That is next level detail. So, success for you and what you're trying to do, you need to be deliberate with your standards, with your habits, and taking action every single day and doing it from a discipline standpoint when you don't want to. Whether you're trying to get more healthy, whether you're trying to work on your relationship, whether you're trying to start a business, whether you're trying to get to a certain level in your career, you need to understand where you're going and where you're ending up and track them every single day, because we often overestimate what we can do in the short term, but we underestimate what we can do in the long term, and it's the consistency towards that. But if you're not clear at the beginning and you don't understand where you're going, then you can't build the standards, the habits, and the actions to get you towards where you really want to go. So here's the hard truth. I know it sounds easy, I've made it sound easy, but the hard truth is that we get distracted so easy. We lose the attention towards what we really want every single day. And it's not because we're lazy, it's because we have an attention problem. We don't stay focused on what's most important. We always look for big shiny objects. We try to find the easy route or the shortcut, which is often the ill-chosen route, and distraction, it's a silent killer. It steals our confidence, it sets us back, and then we try to normalize being busy, that, oh my god, I've answered all these emails, or I've read all these books, but you haven't taken the actions or the habits to get you towards that point. We weren't built for notifications. We were built to achieve our full potential. And so you got to ensure that you don't get distracted, and that way you stay disciplined towards what you want to do every single day and be consistent with it, even if you haven't got the results. Because when you stay consistent over the long term, as I mentioned before, that is how you get towards that destination. So, one of the things I did to ensure that I was really clear on what I really wanted in my life is I kept asking myself, why do I want certain things? And I asked myself 5 or 6 times, why do I want to grow this business? Why do I want this career? Why do I want to make this much money? Why do I want to have freedom? Why do I want to take care of my family? Why do I want to serve others? And get really clear around this. That's the first thing. And then from there, deconstruct it and put towards what are the standards and the habits that you need to have, and the discipline and the consistency and the persistency, and who do you need to be in order to achieve this. I would task you to go out there and get really clear on your why. Why do you want to achieve whatever you want to achieve? Why do you want to achieve that goal? Get really, really, really clear, and then build the actions, the standards, and the habits, and have the consistency and discipline towards that. That is what's going to set you apart from who you were before, and it's really about creating a new identity for yourself. So what can you do to shift yourself in order to ensure that you're not mistaking activity for achievement? So here's 5 powerful things that you can do. 1, audit your time daily. What are you doing? Tracking, what are your actions? What are your thoughts? What are your standards every single day? And are they aligned towards what you want to accomplish? Number 2, understand clarity. Get really clear on what you want to achieve and understand why. What's the purpose around that? You have to get really clear and have a burning desire. One of the things that you can do is write down 3 goals, and which one pops out at you the most, that draws the most emotion in you and passion. Stick to that one, and then from there, understand and get really clear why. Why do you want to do that? And ask yourself 5 or 6 times, why do I want to achieve this? And get really clear. Second thing is the power of no. You have to say no to things. You can't say yes to things. This is how we get distracted. So some of it could be like, you know what? I need to stop listening to all these podcasts. I'm only going to listen to these 2. Or you have to say no to certain meetings or no to certain events. You need to change your identity, and the power of no is so powerful. Next thing you need to do is schedule time. If it's not in your schedule, it won't get done. You got to be really focused and really disciplined with your time to ensure that you're achieving the goals and the actions and having the right habits every single day towards what you want to achieve, and do it on a consistent, persistent basis when you even don't want to. That's what's going to separate you. When you don't want to do these things, that's when the power comes. That's where the consistency, and you build confidence over a long period of time. And then lastly, really build your energy around this. It's not just tasks. Be really, really focused. Be important, and focus your life around all these actions. And when you do these 5 things, this is going to help you get really focused on not just having activity, but focusing on activity that's going to let you achieve whatever you want. Well, that's all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you got something out of it, and that way you can go and implement it. Remember, I always say, don't just hear the words, live them. You only live life once. So what are you waiting for? The world is yours to conquer.
Definitely running with the soldiers on this one.